When you have a history of greatness, the real challenge starts after the finish line.
I can taste triumph with the heart of a lion.
When victory alone isn't enough, you chase something greater, no matter how difficult the path. On the dirt, in the sand, and beyond. The new 2024 Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot, part of our most rugged trail sport lineup yet. From Honda.
And welcome and good evening, everyone. It is Bayou time. I'm Lonnie Thibodeau. Happy to be with you tonight. And right off the bat, we're going to start with Captain Brendan Mathern, who is, of course, as viewers of Bayou time are very well aware, joins with us quite often to update us on things that are happening there. Brendan, how you doing, my friend?
Doing good, Lonnie. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, too. Well, right off the bat, we want to talk about there is a release I know y'all had put out about an armed robbery that occurred, I believe, outside of a hotel in Lockport. I think it's something that actually maybe happened at some point last month. Go ahead and give us an update on where things stand with that particular case, Brennan.
Yeah, well, last month we had sent a release to the public that we were looking for information as detectives were trying to solve the case of an armed robbery that had occurred on November 6th at around 7 o'clock in the Lockport area. It occurred just outside a motel. What we knew was a man had held another man at gunpoint. He had demanded money as well as the man's cell phone. The man did give him some cash that he had on hand, but he did not have a cell phone on his possession. After that, the gunman shoved the victim in a building, closed him inside before leaving the scene. Now, he left the scene in a vehicle that was being driven by another man. So we put out an image of the van and the suspect to be able to try to get a hold of this. And detectives did obtain warrants for Clyde Hodge III. He's a 28-year-old from the Gonzales area, and VJ Gohill, a 54-year-old from Kenner. They obtained warrants for both of them. Now, Hodge is believed to be, he's the suspected gunman, whereas VJ Gohill is the suspected getaway driver for the incident. Now, Hodge, on December 2nd, he was located in by the St. Gabriel Police Department, placed under arrest and booked into the Iberville Parish Jail. He was later, a couple days later, transferred to our correctional complex here in Thibodaux. He was booked with armed robbery and armed robbery with the use of a firearm. He was released that day on December 6th after posting $150,000 bail. But he, as a condition of bail, he was put on home incarceration. Now, our investigators have turned their sights to VJ Gohill, who is wanted as a principal to the armed robbery and principal to armed robbery with use of a firearm. And like we discussed earlier this week, principal to a crime really carries the same sort of punishments as it. It just means that while you might not have specifically committed the crime yourself, you were just as responsible for it. Being the getaway driver, we believe that he was fully responsible for this armed robbery as well. Anyone who sees him, we're asking you to contact Detective Blake Thibodeau. He can just be reached like any of our employees, his first name - last name at lpso.net. So Blake - Thibodeau, that's DAUX at lpso.net. But as usual, you can also submit tips anonymously to Bayou Region Crime Stoppers. And that number is 1-800-SHERIFF. That's 1-800-743-7433. You can also go online to crimestoppersbr.org, or the most popular way to submit tips is the Bayou Tips mobile app on any mobile device.
All right. Well, thank you for bringing us up to date on that, Brennan. And we've got a couple minutes left before the break. And of course, as we get closer to the holidays, and we may or may not be speaking with you in the next couple weeks, but before we get to Christmas, but maybe some holiday safety tips. I mean, a lot of times these things may seem so obvious to people, but maybe not to all people. And if maybe you want to share a couple of things with us, we'd appreciate it in the couple minutes we have left.
Sure. Well, and first and foremost, as we announced earlier today, our Drive Sober and Get Pulled Over campaign starts December 13th. So we'll have additional deputies on the roadway through the New Year's holiday looking for impaired driving. So obviously the number one tip, Lonnie, as we go through the holidays is, think about how you're going to get home before you ever leave the house and make sure it doesn't involve driving impaired or driving even after one drink. But probably the biggest thing is you want to reduce, with property crimes, they tend to be crimes of opportunity. And so what you want to do is you want to reduce the opportunity as much as possible by going ahead and trying to reduce that opportunity by making sure you're not advertising what products are in your home. Obviously, through the holidays, you're going to open gifts and you're going to be tempted to put those gift boxes outside near the garbage can. Make sure, though, that you break down those boxes and put them inside a bag, inside a receptacle, so you're not advertising to people passing by what high dollar value items you have in your home.
That's an excellent point, Brennan. And again, something that so many people would not even occur. Very smart people too, would not even occur. But that is, we've been hearing recently, it happened a couple nights ago with Joe Burrow. With the instances around the country of pro athletes having their homes broken into while they're playing on a game on network television. Well, obviously they're not home. It's the same thing, I think, Brendan,
Right.
We hear a lot about, people going on vacation. Hey, I'm going to London for a week and a half. Beginning today, you're letting the world know you're not home. Am I right? For the next week and a half. Not a good idea.
No, 100%. I mean, we've learned that through the first Home Alone movie, right? You never want to be advertising that you're leaving the country for a week at a time. But certainly now with social media, word gets out and it's amplified by social media, letting people know. We understand that you might think that it's only your friends and family viewing some of this, and for the most part, that may be true. But again, you're really advertising to the world that you're going on vacation, that you're not home, and all of the safety tips that we give for people to, make sure you have a neighbor, grab packages from your porch or grab your newspaper or whatever. All that's great, but when you're advertising to everybody that you're not home, that defeats the purpose of all of them.
No, exactly. Excellent point. Well, again, Captain Brendan Mathern for the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office, our friend. Thank you so much again for all your helpful tips and bringing us up to speed on what's going on. Have a good evening. And we want to thank everybody for joining us here on Bayou Time. We got more on the program coming up right after this.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bourke, know your rights.